What's up, everybody? We're back with another Bloodline video. That's right, we're partnering with Bloodline. They are sponsoring this video. You guys know I got a special place in my heart for Bloodline. They were the first people to ever sponsor this channel, which is super cool. And they're doing us a huge bonus here. We are being joined by Legendary Gamer. He is a professional content creator for Bloodline, and he's going to walk us through the 5 tips that'll help you supercharge your way through Bloodline of Lithas. What up, Legendary? How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to know these tips because I want to up my game. I want to get better, and I definitely want to jump into that guild conquest. Really excited about that. So without further ado, let's get into it. But guys, make sure you download the game using the link in the comment section below or this QR code so they know that I sent you. And make sure you go follow Lion Roar Gamer. His link will also be in the comment section below and the description if you want to have the best tips for Bloodline Heroes of Lithas. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so here we are in game and we're going to go through the top 5 tips for new players, and of course we got our guide, Lion Roar. Where are we going first?
All right. So when I'm thinking about the 5 things that I think have the biggest impact on a player progressing in the game, the first thing I think of is making districts a priority. So let's go to the districts and take a look at that. This might be one of the more mundane parts of the game, but also one of the most powerful parts of the game. You want to make a lot of gold in this game because the gold is how you're actually going to level up your champions, and the faster you make gold, the faster you level up your champions, of course. So I know that most players are going to want to dive in and start leveling up the best heroes in the game and go rampaging through the different aspects like Valley of Conquerors and Arena and stuff, but you can't do that unless you're making gold. So take a minute when you start, take a week or two even, just to fill up the district with heroes who work. They actually work your district. If you click on any of those, you can see where it says assign in the lower right corner. You can put heroes in there and you can unlock more spaces for those heroes. So take some time getting some of the best heroes for the districts first before you get some of the best fighting heroes. That would be Travaine, Doombringer, Griffin, Yivnian, and then level those up first. Once you get your district set, then you can start leveling heroes that are better for your fighting team. Don't worry about advancing in the campaign yet, or even Dungeon Descent, which is going to be a big part of my tips here too. Get your districts done first.
Right, and you said one of the other tips you have is actually going to help us get the best kind of characters hired here to increase the production. Mm-hmm. And also I was asking you a bunch of questions before we started filming. We were talking about the Senate, and you were saying how the Senate is a great place to get bread, which is then used to level up your districts, right? So
yeah, there's a few ways to level the districts up here. So first, they have like architecture plans. You'll get those through various aspects of the game. So you want to level up your districts that way. And then the second thing is the Senate, like you were mentioning, and that's bread. So you hire workers in addition to your champions who are overseeing the districts. You hire workers just like you're doing right there, and they create more gold for you as well.
Right on. Yeah, as you can see right now, I have a stockpile 20 mil gold. I've been slacking. I got to get in here and collect that, and that's going to help me level my characters.
So if you go to the Senate,
yeah, really good.
If you go to the Senate for a minute, let's click on that because there's a few things you can get from it. And I think because, and when you click on solve issues, you'll get like 3 options here. It's tempting to go for the gold because we've been talking about how good gold is, but bread gets you more gold than gold gets you. So,
right.
And there's equipment down there too, but do not go after the equipment in this particular one. Bread is what you want to go after here. So that's what we're talking about. You just keep hitting it till you run out, and it'll keep refreshing. And every time you do Senate, just get more bread and then run into the district and level it up.
For sure. You had mentioned how this is one of the more mundane parts. I love economy building in games. I actually thought this was super cool because, like you said, you're in control. Like, yes, you could pick gold there, and in the early game, maybe that gives you like a nice temporary boost. You can build up one character a little bit higher to push the campaign a little bit higher, but you're getting more bang for your buck when you go for the bread, and you accrue more gold over time. It pays off. It's like investing in stocks instead of going to the dollar store to buy a candy bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
There you go, bang, 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 and then we're done. All right, so I guess that's it for districts. Make sure you build your districts up so you have a lot of resources for your characters. What else is on the menu?
Yeah, so the next tip is one that is different for gacha games, other gacha games that I've played, and that is to focus on your hero development more than your summons. So I think in a lot of other games that I've played, you want to just like summon and summon until you get the hero, right? Well, Bloodline has a sort of unique way of summoning. If you go to the summon portal, and it's that thing right in the middle there, the summon circle, you actually have these stones to summon with, and when you click in the upper right-hand corner where the gift box is, you're actually guaranteed to get mythics of the male and the female if you summon a certain number of times. So it's actually quite easy to summon in this game. There's these summoning stones you can get. They're the gold things in the top there. You have 5 of them. And so that's basically a free summons. You get those as rewards through various events and things in the game. So save up those stones for summons, and then just build what you get from those. I think there's a temptation to use all your diamonds on summons, at least in a lot of games I've played. That's primarily what you're doing, is just throwing all of your diamonds into summoning for the best heroes. But there's another reason it's actually quite easy to get the good heroes in this game, and that's through intimacy, or through obtaining a companion. Basically, the more you summon here, and you can kind of see if, I don't know if you can click on one of the more pink ones, but that's like a piece of, I guess they call it favorability. And when you get the favorability up high enough, then you unlock a companion, or basically you can keep creating heirs with that companion, which makes the champions, both the male and the female, over and over and over again. Unlimited, like infinite. You can have an infinite source of it. So usually, and it, you know, on some of the earlier heroes released in the game, it's like 45 that you need, and on some of the really special clans, it's going to be 60 that you need of this. But you can get these easily. So what am I talking about with summons? If I'm talking a lot about summons, why do I say focus more on hero development? That's because you can get carried away using all your resources summoning instead of putting it into what's actually going to make your champions and your heroes stronger. So use your diamonds and use your other resources on developing the heroes that you have, no matter what the rarity is. Because another unique thing that Bloodline does is you can always upgrade the rarity of a hero that you've worked on. Let's say I get an epic hero and I level it up with gold, and I even add vigor to it through marriage, which you can watch my videos on my channel about how to do that. That's a whole other issue. But let's say you got this strong hero. Well, let's say you get a higher rarity of the same one. You get a mythic one now, and you're like, oh, I've worked on this one that's epic. As soon as you marry the epic one to the mythic one, all of that leveling, all the resources go into the mythic one, so you don't lose any progress. So you can always upgrade the rarity down the road. Don't worry about it. You don't have to like go for the mythic right away. Spend it leveling your heroes, putting vigor into it, working on the traits of the heroes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that no loss progression. There's no backwards progression. Once you get a new rarity, you just get it going. I really like that about the game. It never feels like you're falling behind when you should be improving because you just got a higher rarity. So I really like that.
In fact, if I could start over the game, I would combine the two tips we've talked about now and really just focus on the early heroes like Travaine, Doombringer, Griffin, Yivnian, leveling them up, and even just fighting with them, because they can be good fighters. They're not the best heroes for fighting, but they're the best in the district. So if you focus on improving them and they're getting better in the district, they're making you more gold, well, real quick, then you can get the better heroes that then you can focus on hero development with them.
Right, snowball effect. It's like when you're investing for big reward down the road, but not too far down the road. You're still going to get to have fun in the short term for sure. And so as far as summons go, we were talking about this. It's a good strategy is not to blow your wad of these summoning crystals just because a new race comes out. It is somewhat advisable to kind of save up until you get near that 300 mark or close enough to that 300 mark, and then kind of go all in on one new race that comes out. Now, you were telling me this is nearly achievable free to play. So with enough preparation, like you could really get a jump on one of the new races that comes out, which I think is really cool. That's not something that I can do in my game. So I think that's really cool. And it's like, so if I had waited, we could get these Tide Razors at a really strong level right away. All we got to do is make sure we're doing the right preparation.
Yeah, if you just take part in all the events that you can, if you're participating a lot, you're doing Valley of Conquerors, if you're in a guild doing guild conquests and fighting the raid boss, and if you're just making sure to participate in everything, I would say it's like every other new clan that comes out, you can get pretty close to 300 summons. So you can get the male and the female guaranteed mythics pretty much every other clan. And then for those who want to be cheap to play and throw a little money into it, maybe you can get every clan or close to it. And I'd say I'm more of a cheap to play player, so I tend to, I really don't have to spend that much, but I go after pretty much every clan. Really more of your effort, like I said, is going to be in not the summons, but in actually developing those heroes then down the road.
Right on. So I think one of our next tips is one of the ways we're able to develop those characters, or where we're using those diamonds, right? So why don't you walk us through that?
Yeah, so Dungeon Descent is one of the best early ways to get resources. There's a lot of free ones in this, so it's 25 levels. Don't worry about the campaign first, actually. I've heard there's a correlation between the campaign and this and the difficulty. I would just focus on Dungeon Descent early on. What you do is, yeah, you select a team, you dive in, you kind of go around a turn-based board revealing sections. Enemies will appear like this, and you can fight them to reveal more tiles. And every 5 levels, you get a free chest full of things like roses, which you need to create more of the champions that you have companions for. Rings, which you need to marry those to create hybrids, which is a super fun, probably one of the most fun parts of this game is creating hybrids. But also because when you marry champions, they get stronger. They get a stat called Vigor, which makes them have more HP, more strength, things like that. And you can get Charm and Intimacy through the Dungeon Descent as well. So diamonds, you get a lot of diamonds for free in this game too. And this is where you want to spend your diamonds, in the Dungeon Descent. So really that's the third tip. Spend your diamonds here, not on summons. Every 5 levels, not only do you get the free chest, but there's like a shop. I don't know, there's like some little dude has come set up shop in the dungeon. And so you can go to him, and it is where you get the cheapest Intimacy, Roses, Rings, and Charm in the game. I tend to go for the 3. And if I have to prioritize 2, it's Roses and Intimacy, but the third being the Rings, but you tend to get a lot of rings for free. And then Charm is used for your companions. They have another purpose as well, and that is to increase your district yield. So the more charm you have, the more your districts are creating gold.
Nice. All right, so perfect. So this is like a one-stop shop to get all of your development tracks kind of hypercharged and help you build your characters up. That's awesome.
Yeah. So don't go blowing all your diamonds on summons. Focus it on here.
Right on. And you were talking about intimacy, and that's going to lead you into your 4th tip, right? So you have a very specific tip on this one, which I think is cool. You were talking to me about how this works. Why don't you walk us through the intimacy of, and I'm going to butcher this name, the Travian.
Trevane, yeah.
Trevane. Thank you.
So there's, for any of the companions, you'll see that they're here. These are not your champions. These are your companions. You can actually flip them back and forth between male and female if you have a preference. But essentially, this is who you create heirs with, for lack of better wording on YouTube. Or is this going on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you basically will create heirs with them, and the rarity that comes out is based on how much intimacy they have. Do you see the intimacy bar at the bottom? So you can spend points from that you get, like these just various trinkets that you get that increase intimacy. You can spend them to increase the intimacy of the hero, and Trevane is the first one you want to focus on. There's a few reasons for this. The first one is because since she's a 1-star companion, it takes much fewer resources to get her to mythic level. And beyond Mythic, you can actually take her up to, I want to say it's like around 22,000 or something like that intimacy, and she'll have level 22 traits. That's important because she has one of the best traits in the game, which is called Agile. Again, marriage is a topic for a whole different video, which you can go watch on my channel if you want. I have lots of videos about it, but she has a special trait that increases her attack speed, and you can transfer that trait to other champions, which is super useful, as you can imagine. A faster attack speed for any number of really great champions is awesome. So you need a lot of her heirs in order to do that. So not only can you create a lot of mythic champions really fast that you can level up, this particular clan earns a lot in the district. So I already mentioned Travaine earlier as being one of the champions you want for that. Well, the higher the rarity, the higher you level it, the more they're going to make in the district. And then also, this particular one is good for the Might event. Every once in a while, an event comes around where the more heroes you acquire of a higher rarity, the more Might points you get. And the higher you score on the Might event, the more summon crystals you get, more of those summon stones or whatever they are, the little yellow things that allow you to summon. So this is an extremely important hero to level the intimacy up of. And of course, if you have a mythic hero that's working in your districts and you can use her, honestly, the female version of this is great on bosses. There's just so many reasons to use a mythic Travaine.
Perfect. I like it. And you get that companion almost immediately in the game. So it's really easy to invest in that intimacy right away. And as you saw, the name of my channel is Dorky Dad. We just had a little boy, and we're gonna braise him up, and then we're gonna put him to work, which is exactly what I plan to do with my kids in real life too. So it's perfect. All right. Yeah. All right. So we talked about a lot of things, but like the core of every mobile game, at least in my opinion, is the people you play with. And that's your fifth tip, right? So why don't you walk us through the importance of joining the right guild?
Yeah, if you don't join a guild, you do not have access to the best resources in the game. So it's really important to join a guild and to participate. The simplest thing you can do is fight the raid boss, which is right in the middle there, and that gets rewards. As you take them on and the level of the boss goes down, the HP goes down, you're getting rewards as you go, and of course when you defeat them, you get better rewards. But that's just scratching the surface. I mean, the best rewards in guilds really comes from the wars you fight, and there's two types of war. That's Valley of Conquerors, and that's Guild Conquest. Valley of Conquerors is probably one of the first things you'll do when you join a guild. And really that's like you're just gonna get like matched up against random people in the world. But Guild Conquest, you're actually gonna fight with your guild, and you get a lot of free summon rewards from the Valley of Conquerors, and then from Guild Conquest you get shards to some of the best heroes in the game and just some of the best overall rewards. So you want to be in a guild that's active where everybody participates. You want to make sure to pull your weight, so that you can get those good rewards. The better your team performs in the Guild Conquest, the more of those rewards that you get.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's true for all mobile games. They want you to play together. They want you to have friends because, playing games with friends is the best way to play games. All right, guys, so that's going to be the top 5 tips for new players. Again, thank you so much, Legendary Gamer, for coming out. His links, both to his, you stream on Twitch or just YouTube?
I am just on YouTube.
All right, so his links to his YouTube page will be in the description below and the comment section. Make sure you go show him some love, especially if you're going to play Bloodline, which I highly recommend. The game is free to play. The link right here or the QR code is going to get you that free download. You get a special starter pack worth $20 with summoning crystals, gold, and diamonds. And the first 30 players who leave their account ID and username in the comment section below will get a free Legendary Female Orc Champion. I'm going to butcher this name too. Maybe you can correct me again. Ugrull.
Yeah, Ugrull. I call her Ugrull.
Ugrull.
There's both males and females of each of the champions. So, yeah, male or female Ugrull is what we would call it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. That makes a lot more sense. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for coming and hang out. Make sure you download so that they know I sent you using the link or the QR code. Go check out Legendary Gamer and have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. See you later.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.